And there we go. Hey everyone, and welcome to a long overdue new stream. I haven't been online in a while. My apologies for that. First of all, let's take the music down a little bit. It's a little too loud, right? So here we go. Hey, awesome to see you all. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a while. It just took a little bit with moving stuff and getting the new studio up and running and all that kind of stuff. So we're back now. So that's good. Hopefully you can hear me perfectly fine. Let me know if there's any audio issues. And well, yeah, technically new camera angle. I just moved it 15 centimeters to the right. That's like 3 inches, 6 inches for overseas. Anyway, long story short, Wavelet Audio have released a new library called EDDA. And I am very, very excited about this one because this is a kind of library that I personally, let's stop the music here. Please stop the music. That I've been waiting for quite a while. It is a tagelharpa, a deep sampled one, and with very clever scripting options and all that kind of stuff. Because the thing is, there's a bunch of solutions on the market already. There's Eduardo Tarilonte's Dark Era. Wavelet Audio themselves did Groth a while ago, which is, by the way, if you don't know, we're talking about like Viking style, old-timey sounding folky music. Think The Witcher and things like that. So everything that evokes that kind of medieval and Viking type of sound. And I love the sound of a tagelharpa. And I was never really happy with the options that were available on the market. Actually, so much so, there you go, that I actually bought one myself, like this guy, to like record it myself because I wasn't happy with the sounds, and so I'm really excited to do the stream today and have a deep look at this new library, Wavelet Audio EDDA, EDDA. And let's switch to the screen view here so we can take a look at what we are going to do today. So the link is here. It's also in the video description, and obviously you can find it yourself, but to save you the hassle, the link is in the chat. EDDA, cinematic Nordic instruments full of natural imperfection. Intro price 119 goes to 139. I don't know when. I know that Yevgeny from Wavelet Audio will be joining the chat in a little bit. So he's going to be here to answer questions and help us out if we get stuck, because obviously, as usual, I didn't RTFM. So we are gonna explore this in the same way as you would when you load the library the first time and open it up. And honestly, I did play around because I couldn't wait for it to try it out. But I tried to make this as much as a first hands-on as possible. So EDDA is a library of Nordic tagelharpa strings and epic shamanic percussion that authentically captures the raw, organic atmosphere of Nordic musical traditions. It's perfect for cinematic folk and Viking-style pagan music, but works perfectly in any genre, adding a sense of natural imperfection and raw emotion to your mix. There's a walkthrough, teaser, and intro on the page, and then there's a bunch of more info on the individual instruments, which we're gonna look at now anyway. And biggest treat, besides the actual sound of the instrument, is that Wavelet Audio really gave a giveaway copy for today, which is nice and awesome and great. So what we can do for that is, or what you have to do if you want to grab a copy of that library is, let me see if that actually works. I tried to set something up that should give a message on screen. Type !join. Yeah, there you go. !join to be part of the drawing at the end of the stream. So we will draw one random entry to give away a free copy. The library itself is a Contact Player library, but you need Contact 8. So it is a Contact 8 library. And if you don't have Contact 8, the full version, you can just grab the player from the Native Instruments website. So that is no issue there. It loads down at, I think, roughly 11 gigabytes. And without further ado, let's jump straight in. So just want to make sure, there we go. If we look at the library, actually, let's go to the classic view. To quickly get that out of the way. I have showed something that I'm not allowed to show. So let's get rid of the view there. So get this back here. So EDDA, we have the main patches, which is the scoring tagelharpa, the big tagelharpa, and the shaman buben. Not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but and then we have phrases, which we will take a look at as well. So let's start with the main instrument. I'm loading that again just to make sure everything is back to zero. Ethan, I mean, first of all, hi, and no wonder, because I haven't been streaming in a while. So there was just a lot of stuff going on, and so yeah, here we are now, back at default. So tagelharpa, and right now I'm running it through no chain at all. That's not true. This is on and the sends are off. So yeah, this is the sound straight out of the box. First impression of playing this thing. Here we go. Let me know if the audio is fine for the instrument. Okay, how is this thing set up? So first of all, we have the scoring tagelharpa is a 3-stringed tagelharpa, and the tuning of these things is usually DAD, DGD, or EAE. That's I mean, you can basically tune it to whatever you like, but that's the options we have available for this tagelharpa. And the way this is played is usually that. If you don't know about the instrument, so basically you have these 2 drone strings, and then depending on where you put your finger on the position of the string here, that's how you change the pitch. And it's bowed, and you can probably just change 1 string pitch at a time. And usually it's like the bottom string or the middle string where you can change the pitch. And we see this reflected in the keyboard here, because the bottom range is, and you can see a red dot on the string going up and down. So that's basically changing the pitch on the bottom string. That's DAD. So if the bottom string then goes to E. And on the second range here, it's where we change the note on the middle string. So that starts on A. And since in open position, both of these keys sound exactly the same because it's open strings. But then I can go, or I can go. So that will play the middle string up in the upper range here. And there's a significant difference between the sound of the upper range when you, for example, I play the F, or I play the F in the lower range. So this is FAD ultimately, whereas the other one is DFD, right? So I think a little bit of understanding of how this instrument works helps in creating something that sounds a little more authentic, although the sound itself is obviously really, really nice. At least that's my understanding of the way I hear it. It just sounds breathtakingly amazing. But there's a few more options that we need to discover right on the interface here. So we start off with a sustain, and I'm gonna dig deeper into that in a little bit. Next to the sustains, we have the spiccatos. So if I switch to spiccato, we can also key switch that in the bottom range here. Right, so that's spiccato, and then we have tremolo poly, where you can play basically the entire range as a tremolo. So nothing happens when you play a single key, but when you hold two keys at the same time, you get a tremolo between these two notes. So from a half note trill to a major 6 trill, yeah, major 6 trill. So single key does nothing. Right, and the same for the upper range. Although I'm not sure, I just heard something that I'm not entirely sure about if that's intentional. The major third trill actually sounds like the major 4, like the 4 trill. Yeah, but there's a major in there as well. Since we have multiple mic positions, to me it sounds like one of the mics is major and one is minor. Actually, let's quickly try that. And a good way to look at the microphone position. I mean, that's amazing what we have here. No, it all sounds like a 4. Yeah, so the major trill does not seem to be there. I think that's a bug. So we'll point that out. We're probably going to be fixed. Yeah, there's no major there. Right, so that's the tremolo poly articulation. There is a little bit of roughness to it, let's put it like that, but ultimately it works in various intervals. So for those coming in later, if you enter !join into the chat, you will be entered for the giveaway drawing. Let's take a quick look. What are we looking like? So quickly look at the list there. So these are the entries we have. And just so you know, once we get to the drawing towards the end of the stream, since a lot of times YouTube names are not connected to any real type of names, I would suggest to just get in touch through Facebook Messenger afterwards with your username, and so I know that you are you, right? And I can send the winning entry to the correct person. Anyway, long story short, back to the sustains. We have a little bit of stuff to discover on this interface. So you may have heard there is legato between these transitions right away. So it plays monophonically. And it kind of makes sense because there's not much sense to the real thing playing it polyphonically in terms of multiple intervals at the same time, which you can not physically do. Right? And so we have, sorry, I changed that. And we can see this line here. We will look at that a little bit more in depth in a second. But right now, when I trigger a new note, you see that this play bar starts from the very beginning again. And what this is basically the rebows. And we're going to look into this again in a short moment. But if I hold it down and just leave it running, and what if I want to have a 1 bar stroke of the bow, but want to change the note in between? Right now, I cannot do this. With the setting of the rebow legato, it will always jump back to the beginning of this bar counter with every new note. Whereas, on the other hand, we have the true legato button here. And if we activate that, what happens is that we now can change notes within the duration of these intervals. And now you can hear that the rebow happens just in time, no matter how I play it. So if we have a click activated, which we don't, there we go. So now you can play melodies basically in rhythm and don't re-trigger anytime. Versus, again, once more, the rebow legato, if you play it like that. Don't get me wrong, that sounds cool as well, and you can get some nice effects with that, but the true legato, in my opinion, is really where it starts to shine, especially when you use different rhythms. So, for example, let's do an 8th rhythm, and you can see this immediately changes to all 8th notes. So now we can play the same thing again. That sounds amazing. By the way, let's quickly check it out without the reverb, so we hear just the original signal. And next thing is that you can also create custom rhythms. So you have whole note, half note, quarter note, and 8th notes, but you can also create custom rhythms, and there you go. So now we already have a custom rhythm preset. Let's just hold down a note and listen to what that sounds like. So as you can already hear and see, there is now also the possibility of doing triplets. So you're not bound to binary rhythms. You can also do triplet rhythms and things like that. So, and it's very, very straightforward to use. So let's start off with killing these triplets here. And let's delete this. Let's delete this. So if you have the basic 16th 16th notes length of each beat. So if we click on the first one, we now see that's 1/8. But if I do this, I can lengthen the phrase. It's a little fiddly on my screen here with these small arrows, to be honest, but it's doable. I could just resize the screen resolution. Yeah, Applicator, I'm absolutely with you on that. I was hoping at some point in time for a library like that that can capture this instrument in a way that Wavelet Audio has done here. So yeah, I'm really happy with the sound of that. So when we have a full bar, right, we can split this into half notes. And then we can split this into quarter notes and maybe do eighth notes here. So by the way, I said 16th, but it seems like eighth note is the smallest unit that you can set these to. So you can create your own rhythms with this thing. Let's do quarter triplets here. And then one more quarter and 2/8. So that's the rhythm we have now. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. And if we just put out a MIDI for that, let's play the MIDI notes. I messed up there, so let's fix that. So gonna put that into quarter notes. You have to play legato, otherwise the phrase will be re-triggered. All right, so now it's in time, like this. And I think there's a little bit of pre-delay necessary. There's a portamento offset. It's 200 milliseconds or 3 30-second notes, and the fast legato is 1 30-second note. And the rhythm rebo offset is 140 milliseconds. So let's put this on -140. So let's see. That sounds too fast, so I don't like that. So let's keep it there. I think it's just based on the transition. So the fast legato, by the way, when is each one triggered? Let me quickly find that out. So when we play, okay, soft velocity is portamento legato. And loud velocity. And on the loudest, we also have a trill legato. I didn't even see that. So we can kind of shape the phrase a little further by varying the velocity values. So if we say on this one here, we want to have a portamento transition, that means we should move the note 3 30-seconds to the left. In Cubase, it would be easy to set up key commands for that to speed up this process. And by the way, also the fast legato also needs to come forward 1 30-second. Yeah, right. So that works nicely. And then the last one, let's do quiet as well and put it 3 30-seconds forward. So now and then hopefully it triggers fine coming back into the start again. So we'll play that. No, it does not trigger from the beginning. There we go. Okay, there is a little bit of a hiccup there in coming back to the beginning of the phrase. I'm not sure why that is. So what I'm gonna do is gonna shorten that a little bit to make sure that it restarts on the one and maybe do a loud start there. And also make sure the volume is a little down. So gonna go to, cannot see anything here. There we go. Move that up. So. Maybe it has to do with the 140. Rhythm rebow offset. Oh, that's the rebow legato. That is not even interesting for us. I wonder what I'd have to. What happens if we merge these notes? So if we put these together, are we in time then? Oh, by the way, get rid of the 140. Yeah, so we have to merge these notes on the transition between the bars. One thing that I want to know, I have no idea what this MIDI drag and drop is doing. I didn't read the manual, as I've said. Oh, these are the settings for the portamento, by the way. Trill delay. Let's do 1/16th. Trill attack. Next note. So I want to see what happens when we do a trill on the loud change of the velocity. So let's do a trill here. Yeah, there. Let's see how that sounds. That sounds really cool. I like it. All right, so I think Yevgeny is here. So welcome to the stream, and congratulations on this so far awesome sounding library. So just drag and drop. Oh, that's the rhythm that we just created. Okay, we can, now I understand. We can move this rhythm into the DAW to manipulate that further. But what does it play now? Should I switch it back to rebow legato or whole note rhythm? Oh, that's just the rhythm on C2. Not sure I understand what's happening here. Oh, it's basically just so you can copy the rhythm over to other instruments. Okay, understood. Anyway, let's go back here to the custom rhythm. Is it still the one that I had? Yes. Can we save rhythms? I haven't seen anything like that. Might be good to have a save option. And since you're here, just one little question. Right at the beginning, when I started playing through these individual articulations, awesome, cool. The tremolo. Obviously, we have multiple tremolos between different keys. So we have half tone, whole tone, minor, fourth, fifth, etc. What happened to the major third? The major third plays a fourth. So G and D sharp, G and F sharp, sorry, are the same note in the interval. Is that intentional, or is there something weird happening in the background? I mean, in the release there is a major, but the trill is a 4. There is a major when the release happens. But the trill itself is 4, so I'm not really sure if there's something off. Definitely is not a major trill. Just in the release, not in the trill itself. So Don't know if that's a bug. I just want to point that out. Back to here. Must be a bug. That's what I figured. So you're welcome. So the next thing, obviously, it would be a little boring if we stay in D all the time, other than being Hans Zimmer and writing everything in D. So we need to change at least a little bit. With this instrument, we can by retuning the middle string to a G. So at least we get the subdominant to the root of D. So if we switch that to D, G, D, we suddenly change the key range a little bit. And then back to D, right? Let's not do a triplet here. And maybe do another eighth, and this one we do quarter again. So if we play the same thing now, we have the change rhythm. And what I'm curious is, at first I thought we cannot key switch the tuning, but we can. So if we activate this here, we can see two more key switches lighting up here. So we can basically duplicate this, start on the, what is the key switch? That is A1. So we start on A1 on this. So now we have the D tuning. Sorry. So we have to move that there. So now we have the D tuning in the beginning. And I'm curious if it works on the spot if we change it to the G tuning right on the beat, or if we have to do that before. I should do that here rather. So if we then go to B1, I put it on the bar first. I just want to see, again, it's a hands-on and we kind of feel our way around in the same way as you would do when you get the library this first time. So let's see what happens when we change it on the beat. Okay, so it doesn't change on the beat. We have to move it a little bit before. So let's see if a 16th note is enough. So let's put it there. And that's actually an 8th note. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Let's do this last one as a trill. So I'm going to move that just a 32nd and move the velocity all the way up and maybe go down to D already on this one. So that whole phrase now sounds like this. Wow, I like that a lot. The only thing, like I said, is if we come back from this phrasing here, there is a little bit of a weird hiccup when these notes are triggered, or re-triggered basically. But I just want to give it one more try. So I'm listening to the moment when the phrase re-triggers here. So yeah, there's a little bit of a hiccup when the note re-triggers. I'm not sure how to remedy that other than going into the performance and just merging these two notes. That's the way I would do it here. So merge that and then we are fine. So far for the scoring tagelharpa general overview. By the way, yeah, that's the custom rhythm. We talked about the portamento offset, the legato offset. There is inbuilt reverb, which I turned off. Let's turn it on again. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the sound capabilities that we have. So right now, I think the biggest shaper that you have at your disposal without additional processing is the actual tone menu. So that is original. And below that, we can see original -S, so de-essed. Then we have balance 1, balance 2, bright, dark, warm. And just to play the original, listen to bright. That's a tremendous difference. So back to original. Then -S. If we need a little bit more of a warmer sound. And some people in the chat already are doing it right. So if you want to grab a free giveaway copy of this library at the end of the stream, all you have to do is type !join in the chat. And at the end of the stream, we will pick a random winner to get a free copy of this library, thanks to Wavelet Audio. All right. Tone. That's where we were. So original de-essed. And I want to switch back and forth between a bunch of these just to show you the tonal capabilities. So then we have balance. Then we have balance 2, which is also a little brighter. Now Wavelet Audio is here. That was bright again. Welcome to the show, Mr. Wavelet Audio. Yevgeny, nice to see you. So now I can address the question that I did before because I mistook someone else for you. Masterclass is not Wavelet Audio. My apologies. Sorry. So just one question. I think I may have discovered a bug. I just want to make sure if that's a bug or just something that is not fully working, or maybe it's intentional. So we have these different articulations. So spiccato, right? And then we have the tremolo. We talked about that before you went out here. So we have these trills. Listen to the 4 trill from D to G and then to the major trill from D to F sharp. It's the same trill, but the release is actually a major. You hear that? Ding. So there is the release of a major, but the trill itself is a 4 on the major. I think it's a bug and not necessarily intentional. Every other key works as expected, just the major third doesn't. So I just want to know if that's a limitation of the instrument, if there's something wrong, or if that's just something that can be fixed easily with an update. So just pointing that out. So let me know what you think. Or if you potentially have a solution for that. It's not a big deal. I just found that by accident or by playing around with it. Would be actually curious to see what happens with a DGD setting. So when we do a trill here, It sounds like there is a major trill. Anyway, you know what I have been talking about. Back to original tuning. So, and let's save this for now. We talked about these EQ shaping possibilities, or these different tone presets. That was dark. And then last but not least, we have warm. And just to give you one more comparison between original, warm, and bright. So original, bright, and last but not least, warm. So that already gives you a lot of mileage out of different sound sources and sound options. So, and the second thing, and we haven't even looked at that yet, is in the settings panel here, this little microphone. We have a ton of microphone options for this library. We have piezo, SM57, C3000, P420, BIV, I don't even know what that is, BS, we have a BS mic, make of that what you will. And then we have room mic. So let's solo each of these and go through them one by one. I'm just playing the phrase, and then we can see what that sounds like on the individual microphone positions. So the C3000 on the left. Oh, that's on the right. There we go. So that's basically for the stereo picture, stereo microphones. Yeah, the BLV, BIV, I'm not really sure what that is. Possibly it's said in the manual, so RTFM. We have the BS mic and the room. So obviously you can create your own blends. Leave the piezo in the middle and right? So, and then obviously you can go ultra dry. Or use just the piezo. That would be something you would probably send through an amp. So something like Corey Wong to get some nice tones out of that. So let's see. Maybe something like Scooped Spanky Clean. Gotta watch the levels a little bit. Yeah, you can definitely push this into various directions really easily. Even just a simple decapitator and like squashing the hell out of it might be useful if we punish it, put on a neve, really drive it hard, bring the output down. Maybe turn the mix down a little bit. So you can really add some mean grit to the sound there if you need that kind of push through, especially in a dense mix. If you have electric guitars going on for like folk and pagan metal and things like that, you probably want to get some saturation onto the dry piezo signal to make it really cut through. And so let's reset. Would be great if there would be a mix author. We have different mixes. There we go. I was just searching for a reset button, so the menu up here it is. By the way, let's listen to some of these presets. That's the initial preset. Then we have Evgeny's mix. Then we have Nick's mix. Yeah, Wavelet, totally fine. It's not, I don't think it's necessary to add an effects rack to this thing. If you want to go for that kind of sound, that's always easy. Even with stock plugins from the DAW, you can manipulate it further. So yeah, there's no issue in not having a dedicated effects rack on the tagelharpa itself. I think it sounds amazing as it is, and there's enough possibilities where you can use it without any further processing in terms of distortion or anything. And you have the reverb in there. You have these different EQ settings. Maybe you can put a little bit of compression afterwards, but even that is debatable, right? So let's see. We have the mix author, piezo and side and room. And yeah, a bunch of other options to choose from, just the side. By the way, BS is not what I thought it was, it is side. All right, so that's the mic settings. And we have a bunch of different presets here as well, which we can look at in a little bit. I may lose the actually, let's not lose that. Let's just save a preset here. So that is demo rhythm. So at least I can recall that. If I go here to my user presets, it should show. Yeah, there we go. Now it shows up, demo rhythm. One of the nice things about Contact 8, the preset management system, is a little better than in prior versions. So we have these individual presets here that we can also recall from here. Initialize scoring mono. So we have a mono option as well. Light delay. I think this one adds a delay effect. Which sounds very nice. Then we have sound design hammock. I don't even know what that is. But it sounds amazing. Oh, we have a bunch of presets as well here. Oh, this is where you could save the presets. So I don't need. Okay, you can save presets within the instrument, but you can also save as a snapshot. So depending on what your workflow is, both options are available. And then we have the other one was ambient low pad. Which I like a lot, but the question is, Wavelet, Evgeny, one question. I did not see any options to tune the samples from the original tuning besides the actual tuning knob in Contact. But here it seems like you did something under the hood that tunes the instrument. Because, I mean, whatever I want to do, Q and C, right, instead of D. So, would it be possible to add different tunings as options to the menu at least like reasonable stretching ranges, maybe C, D, E, F, G. I mean, we do have G with the other tuning, so maybe D, F, and then we can do, I don't know, just thinking out loud here. If there's a way to kind of retune this, even if it maybe go a little bit against the nature of the instrument itself, and you wouldn't have it like a third up, F sharp, C sharp, F sharp, or something like that. But if it would be possible, I can always go in. If we go back to the original instrument, tagelharpa. So we have the burden -12 here. Oh, that's actually the big tagelharpa. I just realized that. We're gonna go to that in a second. So back to the original. So if we want to have a Q in, we want to have a Q in C, what we could do is just tune it down one full tone. Now, obviously, the further you go away, it sounds weird. So if we have a Q in B flat major, we could do this, like 4 semitones down. But technically, you could also go 3 semitones up and tune it to G tuning. Then you will be in B flat as well. I just messed up there. So if we are in B flat now and tune 3 semitones up, actually the root now is on the G. So now we are in B major. So if we want to do A major, then again we could do just 2 semitones up with the G tuning. So basically, if we have a D and a G, we can go 2 up from D to not go too far with tuning. So back to D tuning. So if we have a Q in E major, we could go 2 steps up. And it would still sound probably fine. If we were to have something in F major, we could go 3 up. But it starts to sound a little Mickey Mousey. But we could also, instead of going 3 up, we could choose the G tuning and go 2 down. So now we have. So that's an F tuning with just 2 semitones tuned instead of 3 up. So yeah, there is a little bit of variation and possibility to make it work for other keys, but obviously it sounds best in the original key of D, A-D. And that brings, yeah, thank you very much. Brings us to the second instrument, the big tagelharpa main. So the first one was the scoring tagelharpa. As we have said, there is DAD and DG tuning. The big tagelharpa has one more, has an EAE tuning. So even more variation to change the tuning to different keys. Let's play right out of the box as it sounds. Bring the volume back up. So it's also just extremely playable. You can really do nice rhythms just playing live on the keys. Yes, my composing page currently is offline because I'm redoing that at the moment. It will come back in a little bit. I paused what was it? Anyway, yeah, it will be back online shortly, but thanks for the reminder. So the overview is the same as with the other tagelharpa, but we do have an additional tuning. So now we have EAD. So let's go back to D. Oh, it's EAE. And then obviously we have the DG tuning as well. And same thing, we can activate the switching below the playable range. Obviously, that's not really possible in real life because we would have to retune the string in the middle. But we are not in real life. We are in the virtual instruments world, so that's what we can do. There is a bunch of effects that we have at the top here. So on C5, we can tune it down an octave. That sounds ridiculously good. Then we have Bourdon. I don't even know how that's pronounced. Perfect fifth. Not really sure what that would really be useful for, but then we have a perfect fourth. I do like the octave a lot. Right? And last but not least, we do have, back to original. So no need to go through all, and we have other mic positions here. Oh, the Bourdon is the now I get it. It's the drone string. It's just called Bourdon, or whatever. So yeah, that's the drone string. And that is key switchable. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So if we want to have less of the root or more, we can also have just the root. That's cool. I like that. And also here on the big tagelharpa, we have the double track option and we have the delay. So double strings. Let's go back to 0. That gets very loud. So nice wide stereo spectrum that we can create with that. We do have the spiccatos here as well. These are a little bit more rough compared to the scoring tagelharpa. So not really hearing much tonal variation. Oh, maybe it's because I turned down. Did I? And there's no mic menu here for different settings. So that spiccato is not tonal, it seems. It's just on the root. Maybe on DAD? Okay, here it is. On G. And on EAD. There it is. So then we have the tremolo. And ricochet. Very nice sound as well. So let's jump on. That is the individual solo multi-sampled playable instruments of the two tagelharpers. We do have phrase instrument as well. So if you're not fully satisfied with the way these rhythms work and how you can program them, the next option, the next best option to having a live tagelharpa player in your studio that you need to feed and give water and make sure they are well fed and taken care of to perform to the best of their abilities. I digress. We have recorded phrases. So in different tempos. I'm on 102, so let's go with the 95, 105. That's the scoring tagelharpa phrases. It's not. Now it is. So, and here we have the tuning options at the bottom of the range and C2 starting. So what happens when we change the keys here? So we are on C0. You can obviously hear the pitch shifting going on there. So it's not unlimited in terms of range where you can go. But you can also, this is set to beat mode. Maybe you can set this to another mode as well. Something we would need to figure out later down the line. If not anything at all, I would see this more like as a source of inspiration to get your own rhythms down. So you could probably try to recreate some of these rhythms with the multi-sample tool. Actually, let's do this. I quickly want to try that. So let's delete this guy. Let's record the phrase here and see if we can rebuild that with the multi-instrument. That would be interesting. At least to me. All right, so we have this phrase, and I think we might be faster if we just quickly render that to audio. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take this guy and render that to audio. So that's our reference. Oh, what happened? Did I do something wrong or did... Okay, now it's all good. I quickly thought we crashed the output with 1,000 decibels. Okay, so we have the reference. Now we load back in the regular tagelharpa. Let's go with the scoring. Let's give it another listen. Turn it down a little bit. So we are on the G tuning. So with a G. Oops. Can select the playback range on the waveform. Oh yeah, right. But I want to try to recreate this rhythm that we had here. So let's just do this. And without changing anything in the preset, I'm gonna leave that as it is on the rebow function. The rebow offset is 140 milliseconds. So let's see if we need to put the whole thing on 140. So we do. So let's try this. We go 16th notes, or 8th notes actually. Yeah. So first let's see what it sounds like on the same note. If we just do this. Okay, it's definitely minus 140 delay. And then it's indeed 16th notes. I mean, it already sounds good just playing it on a single note. Listening to the recorded phrase. Let's do the bright setting on this instrument. Okay, and then we need the yes, I know I'm using the rebow legato. I'm intentionally using the rebow legato right now. And we could also try to, actually let's do the rebow first and then I try to create the rhythm in the rhythm player and then change the notes. I want to start kind of compare both options, how they work. So if we have this one right now. So we gotta do this. So kind of like this. And this one is a trill. And the next thing is I want to select every second note and move this to the other range. So we have kind of like this. So that's not really a trill there. I think I saw a trill key switch up here, tone trill. So that is, what was that? F5 up here. So with F5 we can have a tone trill. So let's see if that works if we put that on the note there. It's kind of like working in that way. Yeah, now we have the trill needs to come after the note. So that gets us relatively close to the recorded phrase. So again, reworked with just the re-trigger legato. Maybe it's a little too bright, so let's try the balance 2. That is relatively close. And now I want to try the same thing with the rhythm maker. So let's see how that works. If we do, if we change the whole thing and do the rhythm in the true legato. So custom rhythm. So we have, no, we, there's no 16th notes. What do we do about that? So let's delete this, make this longer. I just approximate the length. So we do this. So it's basically the same for the first 3 bars. And we have the triplets here. So yeah, if we do triplets, it does give a little bit of a wiggle. So let's do this. No, let's not do this. Change the menu to 2 bar at the bottom, right here. 2 bar. Oh, now we get 16th. Awesome. Thank you so much. I didn't know that. All right. Oh, now we can really get close to the rhythm. I like that. That's pretty cool. No, that's 16th. Sorry. No triplet. It's pretty easy to set these up. Unless you mess it up like I just did. So I'm going to go there. Now go here. Okay. Oh, that triplet, that's why. So that's 8th notes. And here we now have either very portamento, which we talked already about, is 3 30-second notes prior, or regular, I set this back to 0. So now we can basically just hold down the note. It's there. And then we do. Then we do legato on these. And we can also change the note start here to a 30-second note earlier. And then we can make this a trill. So technically this should give us the same rhythm. A little too early. So it needs to go here. There we go. Something's off. There we go. That's where it needs to be. So now we have. Okay, messed that up. All right. So again, original phrase. Rebuild with just the performance legato. No, not the performance legato. The, what's it called? Rebo legato. And then rebuild with the true legato. That's pretty cool. So you can really go in and take these phrases more or less as a learning tool for or inspiration tool for rhythm ideas. You don't necessarily need to use these phrases, especially when you pitch them up and down, but you can rebuild them easily. I think you can even easily create like a little MIDI library or save these presets as different rhythm presets, so it's faster to work around different rhythms. Maybe do some triplets, some 16ths, some 8th notes, and save these as presets. There's a preset window here. You have user presets, so give a preset name. Loop, recreate. If I only could type, recreate, and save that. So yeah, now we have loop recreate as a preset in here and can recall that anytime. That's pretty cool. I do like that. And last but not least, let's quickly jump into the last instrument that we haven't touched upon yet, and that is the percussion. It's the shaman boobin. It's not really much going on there. It's pretty straightforward. So let's give it a play. We have in the lower range here the processed sounds, and in the upper range here on the G we have the original sounds. So it sounds like this. So there's obviously much more processing going on these processed layers. That's why they're called processed. Right? And then we do, yeah, that's all. We have a few settings. We have the sample start, the color, a little brighter, a little darker. We have a punch knob. Reverb. And flam. And can also change the release if we need a little bit more of a tighter sound. Right? Cool. So that's the percussion, and that's it in terms of content for the library, which is already quite amazing because I love libraries that are just focused on one thing and do that exceptionally right. Performance Samples do that all the time with their libraries that are just focused on one particular thing. But this one is, yeah, really focused on these tagelharpas, and it just sounds friggin' amazing. So let's jump in and put a little bit to use, right? Let's write a little bit of a something. I'm gonna use probably Groth alongside maybe a little bit of Ashen scoring cello. So let's start with a little bit of rhythm here. See if we can lay down something that makes it interesting. Where is Groth? I do have it here. There we go. March loop. Okay. Activate. So if you don't know, Groth is another library from Wavelet Audio, also focused on some nice Viking sounds. So let's go Groth. Let's see, what else do we have? We have the breather loops, clocking loops, low pulses. Let's try the low pulses first. Okay, let's go to D. We stay in the original tuning of the tagelharpa. That already sounds just so freaking amazing. Okay, let's lay down a basic feel. Two, three, four. We are a little quiet. I'm going to change that in a second. So let's put that on the grid, quarter note, because I did have the sound setting in the beginning of the track here set to very low volume because that marching loop was just very, very loud. So it had to come down. I'm going to put that on 101. And where is it routed? Percussion. Okay, fine. It's well, actually, it's not percussion. This is actually pulses. So, or synth pulses kind of stuff. So let's send this to the synth verb. Synth black hole and delay. I mean, we don't need any effect on these anyway. So I'm gonna just turn that down. Just make sure that we don't have any processing on the inserts. Let's put this on the SSL, no EQ, okay. And there's all pre-gain is also active. So this is just to get some atmosphere going right from the get-go, right? So there was this ambient patch. We could use that for the intro. So I'm going to duplicate that and call that EDDA ambient. So that's our starting point. Let's go to tagelharpa, all subbanks. Was it hammock? I think it was. That's cool. So direct routing, we're going to send this to ethnic. Shameless plug, if you want to know, I'm working in my scoring template that is also available in my shop. So if you want to work kind of the same way, this template is available for your use, basically. So let's put this down. Let's see what that sounds like. Oh, wait a second. We are not in D here on this loop. At least it feels like. Let's go up 12. It's easier to hear. Apply settings globally. So is that a D? Oh, we are missing the tagelharpa. Give me just a quick second. I have to figure that out. Ambient, no, not ambient. All subbanks. So just a regular tagelharpa. Yeah, that sounds like the same key. Go back here. Yeah, that's D. So we go back down an octave. That definitely is D. Okay, so now back to the ambient one. And the ambient one is DAD tuning. There's nothing retuned. Why does that sound different? Let me quickly see something. A completely different key, the ambient sound. But where's the tuning? Maybe Wavelet audio cannot help out there, but so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 4, 5. Yeah, so 6 semitones down brings it back to D. At least it seems like. Yeah, I just had to figure out, again, no perfect pitch here. How do you know someone has perfect pitch? They will tell you. So yeah, maybe I go, because I do like this higher tune sound a little better. So if we are on G sharp, then the DGD would be, yeah, then I just need to go up 1 semitone and change this to DGD. That should bring us back to D minor. Yeah. So I just like this kind of ambient feel in the back. I just made the mistake of playing it in D minor, but since we are now pitched, I have to play in G minor. Okay, click on. I like that. Let's see. Just a little bit of a wibbly wobbly thing in the background there. Maybe turn the reverb off, give it a little bit more delay, and lots of black hole. I really want to have it drowned out in the back. So like this. There's no note there. Why is there no note there? Oh, that's C4. Why can I not hear anything anymore? I messed something up, I guess. Oh, back on tremolo. All right. So, okay, let's let this sit as an ambient pad. Let's use a nice little feature that came with Cubase 14. It's the modulators. So I'm adding an LFO. I'm putting this LFO to maybe 3 bars. Not the full range. So, and I'm gonna add this to, there we go. So now I have a little bit of a swell from left to right on the panning. I like that. So I'm gonna put this on -140. Let's add another instance of, I'm gonna load something from Wavelet's trailer toolkit. I'm gonna try, I mean, I'm not necessarily limiting myself to just using Wavelet audio sounds, but I mean, since this is a stream about Wavelet audio, why not start there? So do we have some nice pings or Brahms? Pings, let's try these. To D. Oh, wow. That's nice. Volume down. Little less low end. And shit ton of black hole and delay. I like that. I really like that. So we're gonna put that on the one there. That sounds nice. We can give a little more volume. Let's put a low boom in here as well. I'm gonna use the same thing. Gonna use something from Trailer Box. So change this sound again with Wavelet. Trailer box. Subdrops. What do we have? Low thuds. These ones are amazing. This one is at -10. I think is better. There we go. Put that on D. And what I like about the trailer box library, neat little handy feature is you can set the start time to a time event. So say quarter bar to hit. So when you hit it on the 4 of the beat before, it lands exactly in place. I love that. So no need to work with audio. 1, 2, 3. And the hit is exactly on the 1. So solo that. See, exactly where it should be. It's actually pretty quiet, so. Yeah, I like that. So. Masterclass, no, I don't always compose in D, but since D is the root key for the EDDA library here, I just went with the original sound. But I mean, I have a lot of stuff in D, but I also have other stuff and other keys, so not necessarily really just bound to one key. But D happens to sound quite great, especially in low strings. If you want to do the next major chord to D would be C, and then you have the low range in the strings, so it tend to sound great. E minor is pretty cool as well, because then you get like the parallel major down to the C. So you have the E as the root, and then C. Anyway, I digress. So not really bound to writing in D, but in this case, that's what we're going to start with. And now the whole ambient thing is relatively quiet, so we're going to put it up a little more. We could add a few little vocals. And I'm not going to go with Stefano's Ethera. That's another stream coming up as well, looking at Odyssey and the new Atlantis 3.5. Still have to do that stream. What I'm going to do now is just going to put this away, so there's no question there. Groth does have some solo vocals as well, I think. Was it Groth? Yeah, voices. Luisa Legato. So we can put a little bit. Yeah, Secunda might be another one for really badass vocals, but I'm thinking of female vocals. That didn't load? Okay. Now it does. All right, that sounds badass. Probably there's a little bit of pre-delay involved. We do need a bit of vocal compression. Probably gonna go with an L2. 2A, I mean. That sounds amazing. A little bit more beef in the upper range, so put this on 9 is fine. Like that, and then obviously a ton of black hole. Sorry, there we go. Awesome, awesome crosswalk. So I'm gonna put this a little quieter. Eli, what is the thing you did when you click on the line? It automatically makes it zoom vertically and the other lines get zoomed out. Oh, you mean when I select the track? This is a setting in Cubase where you have to go to Edit, Preferences. Is it under Zoom? No, where was it? Project and Mix Console, Enlarge Selected Track. So if you have that activated, it will kind of remember the setting that you have for the selected track. So if I make that selected track ultra small, then the selected track will become small. But if my selected track is bigger than the other tracks, if I do this, then the selected track becomes this big, right? So you have to activate. And I actually have that on a key switch to either have that or not. So if I want to have all the tracks in white and like look at something, I can then say, don't enlarge selected track, deactivate, and then it stays the same. Or I can activate it and then, because sometimes when I select multiple tracks, it can be, and I have the setting a little bigger, it can be a little bit there because suddenly all the tracks are big because all the tracks are selected, right? So it can help to have that command on a shortcut. So hope that helps. So much for Cubase education today. And now let's add some solo vocals to the second part here. I like that. See if it stays. Oh, save that. I did a little pitch downfall there in the end. I really like that. So, okay. So we have the solo vocal there. We haven't used the tagelharpa at all yet. So let's start with that. But we have the intro down, right? Okay, let's start with some rhythm here. I'll bring that back in. Somehow my view is messed up here right now. I have to bring this here, then back here. View, zoom. No, it's fine. It's actually fine. No, No, that's not. This has to do with I have two 4K screens and one 1080p. So sometimes it gets messed up with the displays. There we go. Now it's correct. So let's do a rhythm, custom rhythm. Maybe we have I don't know. The preset window is empty. So the presets do have some rhythms in them already. So let's see. I want something faster. So maybe let's just come up with our own. Custom rhythm. Is there a reset button? So we do. And we need true legato because we want to have that follow the phrase. We even can do 5/16. That's ridiculous. Do this and then split. So we have 3/16, 1/4. All right. No triplet, just want a straight rhythm. So gonna split this and split this one more. I like that. Let's record that. That's the rhythm we go with. All right, just have to quantize that a little bit. We have 1/8 notes, quantize that to 1/8 notes. See what it sounds like. I don't want any offset. So, and then we basically have to select all these notes. We do have the overlaps, so that is all fine. And move it 1/32 to the left, so that the triggers are on the beat. There's a little bit of a gap here, so we have to fix that. All right, that's fine. And the only thing I don't know what happens if we re-trigger that. We have to listen whether the sequence is in time on the one, or maybe we need to merge these two notes. So let's listen what we have from the beginning. Something was a little off here. So let's see what happened. Okay, gonna copy that over. Yeah, and I think this last one needs to, it already goes to the end. Okay. Okay, let's try a little hint there from Wavelet. So not use the true legato, but the rebo legato, and turn off restart sequence. Let's see how that sounds. And the rebo legato, do I have then a rhythm offset? Legato rebo offset is 80 milliseconds, and the rhythm rebo offset. So that means the whole thing is 80. So that would mean I have to put these other ones back in place. So I would do this, bring them back, and put the whole track on -80. No, that sounds weird. That is definitely something out there. So maybe have to select all of them and move them 1/32 to the left again. That sounds really, really good, but rhythm rebo offset is 140. I'm not really sure why we have the rhythm rebo offset there. If I bring this, if I merge this, still, I don't like that it's like having a little hiccup there. Even if I bring that last note right till the end, but I think to avoid this, I just merge this. Let's keep it at that for now. Add some rhythm. So we're gonna duplicate our march loop, which is not a march loop at all. It's actually percussion. So let's delete this. Gonna duplicate this guy and use some percussion from Groth. Groth. There we go. Yeah, something's very messed up with my interface here. Don't really know what I could do about it. Put this here. It's still messed up. So this here. Very, very weird. Okay, something is definitely off here. Is that, yeah, that's contact 7. Okay, now it's fine. Whatever happened here, I don't know. So Groth, percussion, ensemble percussion, single sweetener percussion, wood percussion. Let's go with the ensemble percussion. See what we have here. Okay, let's try that. I don't know if that's gonna work. Obviously, the volume is ridiculously low. 101, please. And put this on the grid. So now we have good enough. Maybe -10 on the rhythm. On the delay. Too quiet. I want to have that louder. So let's just pump it up. What is happening here? Nothing. Let's put it on E. Let's put a distressor on there and tame the transients a little bit. So there we go, stress. Let's make stress. Put that on loop. That should cut through nicely. And in growth, we do have these female vocal screams, I think, which we're probably going to use here. That might sound really, really nice as a first instrument on the one, female rage screaming. Here we go. So what do we have here? Again, messed up the interface. I don't know what's happening. I know that it has to do with my different screen resolutions. But not really sure what I can do about it. Bring this onto the screen. Oh. So now it's going back there. Have to figure out what's going on here. Now it's back here. Oh, come on. Okay, let's put it back here. Other screen. Let's use this one. Maybe not that much black hole. A little more regular reverb. Let's maybe use the hay. I like that. I'm not going to quantize that. I'm going to keep it there. I also want to squash the hell out of that. Maybe don't use the API there. So I'm going to do a little bit more peak reduction, a little bit more gain. And then I'm going to duplicate this and just tune it down. I would love to tune it down if I were able to access the damn control. I'm not really sure what I can do here. Trying to figure out what's going on with my screen resolution thingy here. Move it back here. Okay, that's what I was looking for. But I still can't grab the corner here. View, zoom, single view. No, don't want that. Rack view. And now it's back to being weird. I think I need to grab this instrument from the bottom there. Weird. Contact 7 is active. See, now the view size changed, but I cannot access the corners. And there's nothing I can do about it. Me very sad right now. I don't know what's happening. Okay, let's try it. I have the dummy open. Let's try it with this one. This here. I'm a little obsessed with the fact that this is not working in the way it should. I don't like this. Oh, wait a second. Wait, you know, it's contact 7. I mean, I could just go to contact 8. Maybe let's do this. Yeah, at least that's working as it should. Path. Yeah, I have heard about these problems again and again and again on different interface sizes. So no worries, we just go. So we want the female rate screaming, and we bring this down an octave. I just want to layer that underneath. So now we have these two. See how they sound. So we have a little bit of grit from the bottom there. Okay, all together, starting here. Sounds ridiculously good already. Okay, duplicate this rhythm, bring in back the intro, but now only the... Yeah, this guy. And this one is in time. I think, yeah, since we are going with the same phrase. Really, Yevgeny, if you have any idea why there's an issue with the retrigger and it only works if we merge the notes, it makes it a little tougher to just copy phrasings. So I always have to go in and merge these to make the phrase play in time, which is a little bit counterintuitive. Even if I have that cut right at the bar, there's always that little hiccup on the transition. I don't know if that hiccup is there if I do a different note. So if I come from the beginning, yeah, hear that little double dip there when the note re-triggers. So this is something that I think needs addressing in some kind of way, because it makes it a little tougher to just work loop-based if you have to go in and merge these notes all the time. But it's just a minor issue. I think we could also render to audio and just keep going. So again. Right, so that is working. So we copy the drum loop there, and let's add a little bit of... I'm not going all wavelet, it's just adding... actually just do this. Let's do just eighth notes, ticks, ticking, sticks. And on the last one. There we go. Maybe we can add another march loop here. Which one do we have? Oh, we didn't have march loops at all. That was the synth sound. Probably should change this so I know that this is actually synth. Or maybe even could move that to the synth section. That would even make more sense, so I know what's happening here. You go down there. So, synth. So now let's do the march loops. That goes to percussion. No reverbs. Same thing again. So just to growth. Loops and pulses. Clock loops, breather loops, marching loops. Let's go with marching loops. That's very loud. Sorry for that. Yes. Let's keep that one in. Flowsy, yes, we are giving away a copy of EDDA. All you have to do, in case you haven't done so yet, type !join in the chat. We are currently looking at a few entries. I don't even know how many, but there we go. So it's quite a list, and so yeah, that one we have. And in a few minutes, we are going to draw a random winner out of this list. So let's duplicate this again. Let's quickly solo the percussion here, see if anything sounds weird or out of place. Okay, that can be a little louder. Go back, bring in all the percussion. All right, that sounds nice. Okay, for some reason the entire display thing is completely messed up. So it's just even displaying plugins wrongly. So I have to try to move. Okay, let's move this over to the other screen. I have to figure out why that is. I cannot really tell, but yeah, at least now it's fine. No, it's not fine. But on this screen, it's fine. So just need to bring down the percussion a tiny little bit. Was a little too loud. So, and then we can also add the impact once more here. could also maybe add a little bit of a riser before we get into the full rhythm. This one we're going to grab from Trailer Box again. So to make matters even worse, we just switch back to Contact 8 here to at least be able to work with whatever we want to work with. I need to go to Classic View. There we go. Right click, Wavelet, Audio, Trailer Box, Risers. There we go. So, and here, same thing, we can set the riser to 2 bars to hit, for example. Make it a little quieter. Maybe put the pre-gain down a little. Risers are usually pretty loud. Starting on C1, so. Okay, that's 2-bar riser that we're gonna add before that hit there. So from 9 to 11. So that's in time now. Right. That sounds a little bit like the tagelharpa is running out of time there. I don't know if it's the tagelharpa or if anything else is wrong in Denmark. That's weird. And by the way, this one is also still running through the stereo out, not through our other chain. So probably should bring that back in and also add a tiny amount of reverb to this thing. So that sounds a little better, I guess. That was unintentional, but I did like the pause there. So probably gonna just mute this part. Just have the tagelharpa playing at that moment. So yeah, everything else is muted. Just gonna add the screams again on this last part here. I'll delete this guy. Already sounds just so freaking ridiculously amazing. There's probably some Groth. Groth has an update recently for some really nice instruments added to it, and I haven't really played around with that. So what I'm gonna do is just get rid of this, add Groth, and look through some of the solo patches. or playable instruments. So we have solo cello, orchestra cellos, domra, new domra, folklore. So let's try the folklore instrument, which is basically, I guess, made for lead playing. Something like that. There's a lot of click noise. We can turn that down. So just want to have a little bit of a melody on top there. See if that makes sense. Just a little bit random improvisation there. I think it's this folklore instrument is a blend of different medieval instruments. To me, it sounds like there is a little bit of there's some hurdy-gurdy in there and some other stuff. So it's not necessarily. I don't think it's what's it called? Nickel hopper. That sounds ridiculously good. Sorry to say that. And we're gonna. I just wanted to kind of get a feel for how easy the tagelharpa gets into this soundscape, and there's no denying it's just amazingly built for that kind of sound. So we're gonna play this once more. This is the last chance for anyone who hasn't done so yet. Type !join into the chat if you want to grab a copy of this library as a free gift from Wavelet Audio. Thanks so much for providing that, and also thanks so much for providing the copy for this little hands-on today. I'm gonna hide the disabled track so we only see what we worked with today. And let's give it another play. This is the sound of, well, most of it Wavelet Audio, a little bit of Groth, a little bit of Trailer Toolkit, and lots of tagelharpers. I didn't use the percussion instrument from the tagelharpa now, but it's equivalent to what I used from Groth. Again, the library is on intro price for $119, goes up to $139. I don't know when, probably 2 weeks, 4 weeks intro pricing. So keep that in mind when you want to purchase, that you be fast with that to grab it ASAP before the price goes up. $119. It's obviously, as you can see from the hands on today, it's a very specific library. It's just that one thing that it does, but it does it extremely well. I have never ever in my life heard a better sampled tagelharpa. And if you are into that kind of sound, Viking, medieval, Witcher style soundtrack things, and don't have a tagelharpa lying around, it's the next best thing that is now available on the market. Highly recommend it. I really like the sound of this thing. So let's give it another play, what we did here today, and then we jump on to the drawing of the winner. again, just a quick little look into what possibly can be done in terms of the soundscapes that you can get from this library. Just one last time, soloed out. That's what the tagelharpa itself sounds like. And the cool thing is, without changing the pitch or anything, you can easily jump into changing rhythmic parts of the library. So say that first part should now be 8th notes. Just that little switch changes the entire rhythm for the whole phrase. So, or if we say, okay, that 8th note needs to be maybe this one should be a triplet, and we do not do 8th notes here, but actually combine these. Right now it's not working. Why it's not working? There we go. Delete that. It's because I cannot, holy moly, I cannot access that right now because the display is wrong. So let me try that to move that to the other screen. Yeah, okay, now it works. Now it works. Now I can click it. So now we change the rhythm. So we have that, and now I could say I want to have a triplet on the 2nd quarter note. So I can just bring this back to should be, there we go. So, and now I can change this to triplet. So the rhythm now is easily changed. So if we play that in the entire mix, I'm actually hearing, could take my 8th string and put some nice guitars underneath that. Maybe that's something that happens later. Anyway, let's jump back here to the talk view. Firstly, my congratulations to Wavelet Audio. It's an amazing sounding library. It is limited, I would say, in terms of what you get out of it, because it is so specialized. It's just that sound, but that sound like nails it on the head. So if you need a great tagelharpa for whatever you're working on, I could see this for game scorers, film scorers, TV scorers, whenever you need this medieval type of sounding string. And I haven't even used the spiccatos. I can totally see these spiccatos for dirtying up your regular strings. I think that can be a nice layer sound to get a little bit more grit out of your string samples if you layer that. Obviously, you have to adjust a little bit because you always have these drone strings ringing with the sound, so you don't get dedicated single notes out of the tagelharpa. But there are a lot of contexts where I could see this totally working. And yeah, just a brilliant, amazing sound. So last but not least, what we have to do is we have to jump into the giveaway. And like I said, all you have to do for this is to type !join in the chat. And what I'm going to do is, so you can see what's happening, I'm going to move this little thing here, and here we can, here's the waitlist, the winner draw. So I'm going to copy the link and just have a quick look at the page. This is what it looks like. These are all the entries for the waitlist. And on all we have to do now is select a random winner. And the way we do this is I'm going to bring on the page onto the stream so you can see it. And all I do is hit. First thing I do is hit stop. So we're going to stop the stop the entries. So stop entries. That's it. No one can join anymore. And let's play a little bit of background music to that. The winner for the giveaway today is, and again, thanks to Wavelet Audio for providing the copy. And before we do that, whoever is going to win, please contact me on my Facebook page through Messenger afterwards, right? Especially on YouTube, it's sometimes hard to know who's behind a username, and it's harder to contact through YouTube. So shoot me a message on Facebook Messenger afterwards. Unless we already know who it is, but it's fine, right? So here is the giveaway. Cue the music. Let's put on the control room. Put a little quieter. Actually, let's make it a little quieter for me as well. And the winner today is... We're going to select a name now, right? I would say 3, 2, 1. The winner is... I have selected a name and I haven't seen it yet. Who is it? Who is it? There we go. The winner is... I cannot see it. Who is it? Who is it? Aussie Boy 64, congratulations. You are the winner of EDDA today. Thank you so much for joining the stream. And I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful Easter weekend. Enjoy the time with the family. And I see you next week for the next one. Regular streams coming up back again. Very happy about this. So see you around. Bye-bye.